This picture shows what living a balanced life may look like, and this can look different for each person. These are just some broad categories that many people can relate to in their daily lives. A question for this discussion is, how would you define the notion of a balanced life? To me, having a balanced life means giving equal attention to each aspect of your life. Another question is, do you plan to pursue a balanced life? If so, what do you envision this looking like, and how do you plan to accomplish it? As a future teacher, I want to ensure that while I am at school, my students have my full attention, not including emergencies, of course, and at home, my family will have my full attention. A way I can see myself doing this is by doing the majority of school-related tasks while I'm still at school, even if it means coming in a little extra early or leaving a little late. That way I can go home and be able to give my full attention to my family. I know there will be days when there is some overlap, but it will be balanced for the most part. The gift of balance in your life. May you find the balance of life, time for work, but also time for play. Too much of one thing ends up creating stress that no one needs in their life, but living a life in balance can provide harmony and peace. This quote shows the importance of having a balanced life. Another question for this discussion is such a life possible? Is it desirable or preferable to a life more singularly focused? I believe it is possible, but there are certain career options that may make it slightly or significantly more difficult, such as becoming a doctor, for example. Honestly, having a balanced life, I believe, is more difficult. It is easy to put all you have into one thing, and a lot more difficult to spread yourself between multiple things in life. Though more difficult, I think it is more worthwhile. Don't get so busy making a living that you forget to make a life. No one on his deathbed ever said, "I wish I had spent more time at the office." These two quotes coincide with one another in showcasing the importance of work and life balance. These could also answer the question about the desirability of having a balanced life. Putting everything you have into making a living seems as though it would be exhausting. If I were to only focus on my job in the future, I feel as though I would eventually become burned out. I would not have a family to come home to help give me an escape from work. I would become consumed in my work, and I feel as though I would be wasting my whole life away and never really living. Patients need doctors to take care of them. Medicine shouldn't be a part-time interest to be set aside if it becomes inconvenient. It deserves to be a life's work. This quote from this week's reading shows one of the career options that may not be very desirable for those, such as myself, who prefer to have a balanced life. Doctors need to be able to ignore anything and everything going on in their personal lives in order to give their full attention to patients and their needs. They quite literally have people's lives in their hands and cannot afford to let anything or anyone distract them from caring for the patients. Having a balanced life is possible. It is also desirable and preferable to a singularly focused life. Too much of one thing can be overwhelming and consuming. Choosing whether or not to have a balanced life is entirely up to each individual person and their beliefs and values. Some people desire to have a family, some desire to dedicate themselves to their job, and others desire both or a balanced life.